Imagine a mother who did everything to take care of her three sons, working under the hot sun, selling plantains and oranges just to send them to school. Awero loved her sons more than anything in the world, but what happens when the love of a mother becomes too much? Can a mother love turn into control? Watch this story to find out what happens when Awero's fear of losing her sons causes big problems in their homes. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more. Let's explore together what true love means. Awero sat on a low wooden stool by the roadside, fanning the glowing charcoal beneath her roasting plantains. Her hands raw from the years of hard work skillfully turned the plantains over the fire. The sun was setting, casting a warm orange glow over the bustling streets of Lagos. Awero's eyes, however, were fixed on her goal, making enough money to send her three sons, Toye, Tolu, and Tope, to school. When her husband's family saw her vulnerability, they turned against her. They accused her of causing her husband's death, saying she was a witch who had eaten his soul. They chased her out of her home, leaving her with nothing but her three sons, with no one to turn to. Awero took her children and started a new life from scratch. She did everything she could to make ends meet, roasting plantains by the roadside, hawking oranges under the scorching sun, and even washing clothes for people in the neighborhood. She worked day and night, her body aching with exhaustion. But she never gave up. Her only dream was to see her children succeed in life. Toye, Tolu, and Tope were grateful for their mother's sacrifices. They studied hard, knowing that their mother's hard work was what kept them in school. Despite their struggles, they found joy in the little things, helping their mother with her business, playing games in the evening, and dreaming of a better future. As the years passed, Toye, Tolu, and Tope grew into fine young men. They graduated from school, got good jobs, and soon they started thinking about marriage. But Awero, now older and more tired, had developed a fear deep in her heart. She was afraid that once her sons got married, their wives would turn them against her, just like her husband's family had done. So she made a decision. She told her sons, "Before you take any step in your home, you must inform me. I have suffered for you, and I will not be cast aside. You owe me that respect." The boys, loving their mother dearly and not wanting to hurt her, agreed. Toye was the first to get married. His wife, Shade, was a sweet and gentle woman who loved Toye with all her heart. They were happy together, but soon after their wedding, Awero's presence became a constant in their home. She would visit unannounced, rearranging the furniture, criticizing Shade's cooking, and insisted that Toye should spend more time with her. Shade tried to be patient, understanding that Awero had been through a lot, but it wasn't long before she began to feel suffocated. Toye, caught between his love for his mother and his wife, didn't know how to handle the situation. Whenever Shade tried to discuss the issue with him, he would say, "She's my mother, Shade. She's done so much for me. I can't just push her away." Next, it was Tolu's turn to marry. His wife, Fumi, was a strong and independent woman, but even she found herself bending to Awero's will. Awero insisted that they visit her every weekend, and if they missed a visit, she would call repeatedly, demanding an explanation. Fumi, who valued her freedom, found this overwhelming, but Tolu would only shrug and say, "It's just the way she is. We have to respect her." Finally, Tope married a beautiful woman named Bisi. Like the other wives, Bisi initially tried to get along with Awero, But it wasn't long before she too felt the weight of Awero's control. Awero would meddle in their personal affair, questioning every decision they made and insisted that Tokpa consult her before doing anything. Bisi, feeling trapped, began to resent Awero interference. But Tokpa would only say, "She means well, Bisi. Let's just do what she asks." As time went on, the wives grew increasingly unhappy. Shade, Funmi, and Bisi, who had once been excited about their marriages, now felt like they were living under Awero's shadow. They couldn't make decisions for their homes without Awero's approval, and this created tension between them and their husbands. The three women began confiding in each other, sharing their frustrations and the challenges they faced. They realized that they were all going through the same thing. Awero was controlling their homes, and their husbands were too afraid to stand up to her. They decided that something had to be done, but they didn't know how to approach the situation without causing a rift in their marriages. One evening, after a particular stressful day, Shade finally broke down in tears. "I can't take this anymore, Toye," she cried. "Your mother is controlling our lives. I love you, but I can't keep living like this." Toye, seeing his wife's pain, felt torn. He loved Shade, but he also felt an overwhelming sense of duty to his mother. "Shade," he said softly, "I understand how you feel, but she's my mother. I can't just ignore her. She sacrificed everything for us. But what about us?" Shade pleaded. "We need to have our own lives too. We can't keep living like this, Toye." Meanwhile, Funmi and Bisi were having a similar conversation with their husbands. Tolu and Tokwe, like Toye, were struggling to balance their loyalty to their mother with their love for their wives. The tension in their homes was growing, and it seems like a breaking point was near. Awero, on the other hand, was oblivious to the tumult she was causing. She believed that she was doing the right thing by staying involved in her son's lives. In her mind, she was protecting her family from the same fate she had suffered, being cast aside and abandoned. But deep down, Awero was driven by fear. She was terrified that if she loosened her grip, her sons would forget about her and that their wives would turn them against her, just like her husband's family had done. The fear consumed her, and it was this fear that made her hold on so tightly. One day, as Awero sat alone in her small home, she began to feel the weight of her actions. She loved her sons dearly and don't want to lose them, but she also didn't want to be the reason their marriages were falling apart. She started to wonder if she was being too controlling, but the thought of stepping back terrified her. As the weeks passed, the situation in Toye's, Tolu, and Tokwe's home grew worse. The wives were becoming increasingly resentful, and the husbands were feeling trapped between their love for their mother and their desire to keep their marriages intact. The once close-knit family was slowly unraveling, and no one knew how to stop it. One Sunday afternoon, the entire family gathered at Awero house for a meal. The atmosphere was tense and everyone could feel it. The wives sitting together exchanged worried glances, while the husband tried to act normal, but their forced smile gave them away. As they ate, Awero began her usual routine of questioning her sons about their lives and giving unsolicited advice. "Toye, have you fixed that leak in your roof yet? You should have told me. I could have helped." "Tolu, Funmi's cooking is good, but maybe she should add more pepper next time. It will taste better." The wives, who had been holding their tongue for so long, finally reached their breaking point. Shade, usually the quietest of the three, spoke up first. "Mama, we appreciate your concern, but we need to be able to make decisions in our homes without feeling like we are being watched." Funmi and Bisi nodded in agreement. "Yes, Mama," Funmi added, "we respect you, but we also need space to build our families in our own way." Awero, who had taken aback their boldness, she had never expected them to speak out like this. "What are you saying?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. "Are you saying I am interfering too much?" After everything I've done for this family, Toye, Tolu, and Tope, seeing the situation escalate, try to calm things down. Mama, they are not saying that, Tope said gently. They are just asking for a little more freedom in their homes. It doesn't mean they don't appreciate you. But Awero's fear flared up again, and she felt a grip on her family slipping away. So, this is how it starts, she thought to herself. First, they asked for space, and then they pushed me out completely, unable to bear the thought, her eyes filled with tears. I see how it is, she said, her voice shaking. You've all grown tired of me. You want me out of your lives, but remember, Awero's words hung heavily in the air, creating an uncomfortable silence. The family started frozen, unsure of how to respond. Toye, feeling the tension in the room, was the first to break the silence. Mama, it's not like that, he began, his voice filled with emotion. We love you. You are the reason we are where we are today. But we also need to be able to make decisions in our own homes. Tolu and Tope nodded in agreement. We are not trying to push you away, Mama. Tolu added. We just want you to trust us to make the right choices for our families. But Awero, blinded by her fear, could only see their words as a rejection. She felt as though her worst nightmare was coming true, that her sons were slipping away from her. Influenced by their wives, the thought of being alone again, just like after her husband's death, filled her with dread. I've heard enough, Awero said sharply, her voice quivering. You don't understand everything I've done. I sacrificed everything so you could have a better life. And now you are telling me I am not needed anymore. The wives, seeing how deeply hurt Awero was, exchanged glances, unsure of what to say. They hadn't meant to upset her, but they also couldn't continue living under her constant control. They knew they had to stand their ground, but it was heartbreaking. To see the pain in her eyes. Mama, Bisi began softly. We are not saying you are not needed. We need you in our lives, but we also need to be able to run our homes in our own way. It doesn't mean we don't love you or respect you. Awero's heart pounded in her chest as she listened. She wanted to believe them, but the fear was too overwhelming. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was losing control, that her sons were slipping away from her. The thought of being alone again without the constant presence of her sons in her life terrified her. I see how it is, Awero said, her voice cracking with emotion. You've all chosen your wives over me. After everything I've done, this how you repay me? Toye, Tolu, and Tope felt a deep sense of guilt as they listened to their mother's words. They loved her dearly and didn't want to hurt her, but they also couldn't ignore the growing tension in their marriages. They were torn between their love and duty to their mother and their commitment to their wives. After that difficult family meal, things didn't improve. In fact, the tension in Toye, Tolu, and Tope's home only grew worse. Their wives, feeling unsupported and unheard, began to distance themselves emotionally. The once happy homes became strained with more arguments and less laughter. Shade, who had always been the most patient, found herself growing increasingly frustrated. Toye, she said one evening, we can't keep living like this. I love you, but your mother's control is suffocating me. We need to set boundaries, or I don't know how much longer I can stay in this marriage. Toye, feeling the weight of his wife's words, knew she was right, but the thought of confronting his mother filled him with dread. I don't want to hurt her, Shade, he said quietly. She's been through so much, but I don't want to lose you either. Meanwhile, in Tolu's home, the situation was no better. Funmi, who had always been strong-willed, was now feeling trapped. Tolu, she said one evening, we've been married for 2 years, and I feel like I am still living under your mother's roof. We need to make our own decisions. This isn't how I imagine our life together. Tolu, who had always been close to his mother, was struggling to find a balance. I know, Funmi, he replied, running a hand through his ear in frustration. I'll talk to her, I promise. But you have to understand it's not easy for me. In Tope's home, Bisi was facing the same challenges. She felt like a guest in her own house, with Awero constantly interfering in every aspect of their life. Tope, she said one night, I love you, but your mother is making it impossible for us to have our own life. We need to do something before it's too late. Tope, who had always been the peacekeeper, found himself in an impossible situation. I don't know what to do, BC, he admitted. I don't want to hurt her, but I don't want to lose you either. I am stuck in the middle. As the days passed, the strain on the marriages became more and more apparent. The wives grew increasingly distant, while the husband struggled to find a way to make things right. The once close-knit family was slowly unraveling, and no one knew how to stop it. Awero wants to keep her sons close, but is she pushing them too far away? What will you do if you were in her place? Or if she was your mother? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you want to find out what happens next, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next part of this story. Thank you for watching.